Debbie, Spector Weisman, welcome to Empower Network TV.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here.
I'm excited because what we're going to be talking about here. So let's jump right into this. Can you just give people an overview of kind of what you do?
Sure, I am known as the Dream Coach. I am a certified Dream Life coach, which means I help people discover their passion, their purpose, help them find clarity, solve issues that they may have through a variety of ways, but mostly through helping them understand their dreams. 'Cause I believe that dreams are the fastest way we can really understand ourselves in a way that we can't through other conscious methods.
Okay, so why do you believe that? What is it about dreams that you believe tells us information we need?
Okay, well, very simply, I go by the philosophy of one of the great dream workers of the late 20th, early 21st century, Jeremy Taylor, who said that all dreams reflect our inner creativity and our ability to find and discover life's problems. And what he means by that is that dreams reside in our subconscious. And when we go to sleep, without getting too technical, just say when we go to sleep, uh, the frontal lobe of our brain kind of shuts down. That's the part of our brain we're using right now in our everyday conscious lives. And that kind of goes to sleep as we go to sleep. What wakes up are the other ends of our brain, and those ends are where, because we're not attuned to what's going on in the conscious world, it reflects more of what our true selves is. Because in our conscious lives, if you think about, the thoughts are maybe you're going through your head right now. Maybe you're not even thinking about it, but you may be, just slightly under the surface thinking, oh, I wonder what she's going to say. Oh, am I cold here? What's going on? What's going to happen? So many questions go on. We're not even aware of it. We actually think something like 90,000 thoughts a day without realizing it. Well, most of these thoughts are negative, and even though we don't realize it, we're feeding ourselves kind of this negativity on an ongoing basis while we're awake. So when we're asleep, that thought consciousness goes away. So the things that we happen, the things, the images, the dreams that we have when we sleep reflect more of who we really are without all that garbage we put up on ourselves during the conscious day. And so by helping people understand their dreams, it helps them understand themselves. And when I say by understanding the dreams is, if you have dreams, you remember your dreams, sometimes a little crazy and a little weird and, don't make sense at all. So there is a way to make sense of them, and that's what I help people do.
So how many layers deep do you think the truth is of who we are? And like how far down is that reality to you?
Well, it's a little hard to say, because I don't really look at it as thinking of, deep, layers, and, there's one layer, two layers, three layers going down like that. Uh, because of all of these negative thoughts that go through our brain, because of things that have happened to us through our lives, we develop a lot of self-limiting beliefs about ourselves. What our dreams do is help us uncover what those self-limiting beliefs are. So by doing that, we can identify them. And the biggest part of all of it, and the thing that I stress more than anything else, is self-awareness. Most of the time, I like to say we're sleepwalking through life. We don't really pay attention to what's going on. We react to what's going on. We don't really uh, consciously create what's going on for the most part. We live our lives, we go to work, we react to what's going on at work, we have relationships, we react to what's going on there. And most of the time, we're not taking a really active uh, part in creating those situations. So in our dreams, we can help discover, why is it that we don't do that? What's holding us back? What keeps us from being the creators of our lives and living our life instead of having life live us.
Do you believe that? Okay, so you said a statement there, the creators of our lives. Something I'm playing with or considering is that I've always been creating my life. I just was not aware of it.
Well, to most part, it's true. Uh, but there are things that happen while we're in the process of creating our life that maybe on a conscious level, maybe on a subconscious level, hold us back.
Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, you created this wonderful collection of community that you developed through this you know, network that you have. Uh, there may have been ways somewhere way along the line where uh, you didn't do something that you thought you were going to do, or something came up and you
Yeah.
didn't react to it in the fastest way possible
Yeah.
because you weren't aware of it.
Yeah. When okay, so let's can we go a little deeper in that? What are your thoughts on so do you feel like is your opinion that we're always creating our lives? Do you feel like life is creating us or we're creating our lives?
I think it depends on the individual. For most people, I think life creates them. Like I said, they're reacting to what's going on. They're just going through day to day, here's what happens today, going through the events and reacting to it, in a positive way or a negative way, depending on the situation. Uh, but that's what happens is that for a lot of people, and for a lot of people, that's fine. They go through life and life is working for them, and they don't question it. The people who question it are the people who either have this, unsettling feeling in them every day, or maybe wake up one day and say, is this really what life is about? Is this really what I want to do with my life? Uh, I mean, I had that for myself. I always felt I called myself for a very, very long time. I called myself, the ultimate fatalist. Life was the way it was. You got handed a deck of cards, and you're dealt a deck of cards, and you played the hand that you had. And if it was a good hand, great, and if not, you had to deal with it. And I didn't realize that no, you can actually take actions and change things. And that started me on what I like to call now my third career, which is, being a dream life coach and helping other people find that as well.
That was beautiful. So you went from being a victim to victor, like this is my life. I'm going to decide how the next chapter plays out, kind of thing.
Very much so. And because I went through that metamorphosis, I believe everybody else can. It's a matter of wanting to, believing you can, and taking that action to make it happen.
I know this firsthand. I lived the victim for a long time, and I feel like I'm still coming out of patterns that were hiding themselves beneath what I thought was good behaviors. But I see as I go deeper, I'm like, ooh, hang on a second. That's not necessarily a good behavior. It's just autopilot.
Well, I think it's a journey. It's not like one day you say, aha, this is the way life should be, and you start taking steps to, change your direction. It's not like, okay, one day it's this and the next day it's that. It's a journey. And like any kind of journey, there are ups and downs, and sometimes you make great leaps, and then, you know, life happens, an incident happens, and you fall down, and then you have to get back up again and take it. So, yes, but like I said at the beginning, it's all about self-awareness. If you're aware that these things are happening, then you can take those corrective actions or make the changes, that you need to go to stay on the journey that you want to have.
So let's go to best practices for those that want to be more in tune with their dream life. What do you recommend? Should they journal when they wake up? Like, is there any baseline of if you want to start extracting, pay attention this way? Is there thoughts you have that way?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing above all is to believe that dreams are important, because most people don't. You may have a dream and say, oh, you don't pay attention to it at all. It's just like, okay, that's something weird that happened. Or you say, as many people say when I tell them what I do, they say, "Oh, I don't dream." Well, truth is, everybody dreams. You dream something between 3 and 9 dreams a night, depending on your sleep cycle. The people who don't dream actually end up having great mental issues because dreaming is a natural part of life. So the first thing is believe the dreams are important. Uh, there are methods for remembering your dreams. I would say, quickly go to my website, thedreamcoach.net. I have a little infographic on, steps to remember your dreams. In short, uh, like I said, believe dreams are important. If you haven't dreamed, if you're not in the practice of dreaming, right before you go to bed, just say to yourself, tonight I'm going to remember a dream. And it may not happen the first night because, like exercising, it's not like you do one exercise and you're in shape. It's a practice. The more you do it, the more you will remember your dreams. And then when you're first waking up from your dream, don't move your muscle, don't move a muscle because dreams rely on they lie in our very, very, very short term memory. And physically, if we move, it can go away. I mean, I know from practice, this has happened to me too many times and I care to remember. So you just stay still and go over in your mind what the dream was about. Think of the key points in the dream and then keep a journal right next to your bed. Write down what you can. Write down as much of it as you can. Or if you're technically uh, more adept, there are plenty of apps where you can just press the button and talk it out. That's a personal preference. I'm old school. I write things down. Then when you wake up in the morning, read it. And as you're reading it, you may remember more things that you didn't write down because it will jog that memory. And keep a dream journal. Spend just even if you spend 5 minutes, look at that journal, see what it says. Uh, See if you can find any meaning from it. Uh, you know, again, we don't speak in English in our dreams, we speak in symbols, so you may have trouble understanding what the symbol is. Always ask yourself, what does this symbol mean to me? Because a lot of times you might say, "Oh, I'll look it up," but the symbol that means to most people may not mean that to you. So always ask yourself what it means to me. And if you have a lot of problems with it, or if you really don't understand it and you want some more meaning, go to somebody like me who can really help you take that deep, 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 deep dive into what the dream means. And the more you do this, the more you have this practice, the more you'll see patterns in your dreams. And the most important thing you could do with your dream is to, once you understand what it's telling you, take action. Because a dream where you don't take action is just an interesting story.
Oh, I like that. Wow. Okay, so for someone that is really struggling to even believe that they dream because they don't remember it, like it's one thing for people that remember it and then they just haven't practiced yet writing it down or like voice noting, like iPhones have a voice note. Google, you can download a voice note recorder from there. But for people that actually go, I don't think that I dream, where do they start? If they actually go, well, I don't have anything that I ever think of that I dream. Are they
Well,
just sleeping really, really deeply or what's going on?
no, science. Well, first of all, people. You can read history. People have been dreaming as long as there's been recorded history. The first dream that was written down was a Sanskrit on stone 7,000 years ago. The Greeks had temples where they used dreams for healing. I mean, there's so many stories and accounts of dreams in the Bible, Joseph's dreams. I mean, there's so many accounts historically of dreams that just read up on it. That will give you an understanding that people that believe dreams have been important for years and years and years. Science has caught up with it and have discovered that we have stages of sleep, and most people dream in the REM stage of sleep. So if you have, like I said, how many dreams you have during a night depends on your sleep cycle. If you're only sleeping a couple hours a night, you may only have, a couple of REM cycles. that go through. So you only have a certain amount of time to sleep. But if you're sleeping like 8 hours a night, you will have a number of different cycles where you will have dreams. Most dreams that we have, though, don't really mean anything. Dreams are also a way, I call it like a mental filing cabinet where we process what's happened the day before so that when we wake up, we're not remembering, oh, you know, I went here at, 2 a.m. or I opened this Google Doc at 5 p.m. We don't have to remember all the things that really don't count. Uh, but then we'll have the dreams that will give us, like I said, those meanings, things that maybe issues came up during the day, and the dream may have some insights on that. Uh, there all kinds of things. I mean, we haven't even gotten into the different types of dreams, where people have dreams about departed loved ones, or people have dreams that give them insights into medical issues, or dreams, the premonition dreams, where people, uh, dream about something and then, a week later find out it happened. I mean, there are like so many different types of dreams that
Well, let's
what you
go into that right now. Let's go in. What are some stories you got? Let's do it.
Okay, well, in terms of premonition dreams, I really haven't had any premonition dreams, but I know a couple of people who have, where um, they've had a dream about a traffic accident, and you know, a week later, a month later, they're driving, and in the dream, let's say they remembered, there was a red truck that came in. And a couple weeks later, they're driving and coming into an intersection and they see a red truck. And normally they may have gone through the intersection, but because they had that dream and remembered that red truck, they stopped. And sure enough, the truck runs a red light. So, that's an example of what a premonition is. I know people who have had dreams of departed loved ones. Very, very, very early on in my coaching practice, I had a client who had a dream, well, where her grandfather came in, her departed grandfather spoke to her in the dream and said, check the medicines. And of course, when she woke up, she understood what was going on because his wife, her grandmother, was in a nursing home and was in, relatively stable condition. But a couple of days earlier, she had gone downhill and nobody could really figure out why. And when she got this dream, checked the medicines, she went back to the nursing home and said, hey, I think something's happened with my grandmother's medications. Let's look into it. And sure enough, it turned out that one of the temporary nurses that was on duty had given her the wrong medicine for a couple of days. And as soon as they figured this out and took her off, she recovered. So, you know, things like this really do happen. I know many, many people who have had health dreams. Uh, a very well-known one because this woman wrote a book about it and was, got a lot of attention about it. Uh, she had a dream that she had breast cancer and went to her doctor and had a mammogram. Mammogram came up normal. And then she, sort of like, okay, I'm okay. Had the dream again, and the dream was more insistent, said, no, 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 you must check. And there was an arrow in the dream. The arrow pointed to a specific spot in her breast, said, you must get this checked out. Went back to the doctor, and he didn't believe her, but she was insistent. And they did more tests. They came back negative. She said, no, 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 you need to do exploratory surgery. There is cancer there. The doctor, of course, didn't want to do this, but she was so insistent that, you know, they ended up doing it. And sure enough, the surgery uncovered cancer, which was not uncovered under medical technology. So, and I've had a couple of other associates who've also had cancer related dreams where, the cancer was first discovered in their dreams before it was discovered by medical technology. So,
Oh
so there,
man,
that's just to name a few.
yeah. So if you're dreaming, obviously, pay attention. A big part of this is pay attention, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Well, both in dreams and in our waking life, pay attention.
Well, love that you're here, Debbie. It's um yeah, I just the synchronicity of this, and thank you for being flexible in terms of when we could do this interview. I appreciate you being on Empower Network TV. Would love to get you on some of our first date networking events. They're called first date networking events. You can come
Oh,
out,
I
meet
love that.
a dozen or 15, whatever, new people. They're free events. We run multiple. There's one tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. If you're interested, I can send you the link for all of them. There's another one Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then there's a bunch in March going forward. So I'll
Oh, I
shoot you
love
that.
that.
Okay, I'll shoot you the link. Any closing comments before we end the broadcast?
Well, just pay attention to your dreams. And if you want any more information, my website is thedreamcoach.net. Or you can email me at debbie@thedreamcoach.net. And also, if you want some more information just about different kinds of dreams, check out my podcast, which is called Dream Power Radio. All the podcast shows are not all about dreams, but they all are all about empowerment. And you'll hear those stories about some of those dreams that I spoke about.
Love it. Debbie, I dropped your website into the chat already here at Facebook. So I'll be tagging you. If you've been watching Empower Network TV or listening on the replay, please connect with Debbie if you'd like to. If this interests you, you'd like to explore this, reach out to her. She'd love to connect with you. Debbie, thanks so much, and we'll end the broadcast here.
Thank you.